Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk about something that is connected to every one of us. Where we came from. Thanks to modern DNA technology and bioinformatics, we can actually trace human origins and understand how our ancestors migrated around different parts of the world. You might have heard of DNA ancestry tests like 23andMe. Behind those simple reports is a huge amount of computational analysis. So in the next few minutes, I will show you how bioinformatics uncovers human history through our genes. So humans are genetically extremely similar, about 99.9% identical. But the tiny remaining 0.1% contains millions of small variations. Many of these variations are called SNPs, or single nucleotide polymorphisms. Some SNPs are more common in certain populations because of geography, culture, and Asian migration patterns. By looking at a person's SNP patterns, we can estimate which populations they belong to. The basic workflow of ancestry tests is shown below. So it is quite simple to understand. First, a person sends in chick swab. The lab extracts DNA and reads hundreds of thousands of SNP positions across the genome. Then, bioinformatics software compares these SNPs with reference genomes from different populations around the world. Using statistical and computational models, a program computes how similar your DNA is to each population and produces a percentage breakdown. In other words, the magic happens in the comparison and computation. So here I would like to introduce two common techniques in bioinformation. So the first one is called PCA, or Principal Component Analysis. You don't need to remember the math behind this technique. Just think of it as plotting genomes on a map. People who share the ancestry will class together. Europeans cluster in one region, East Asians in another, Africans in another, and so on. The second method is called admixture analysis. This method tries to estimate what proportion of your DNA comes from different ancestral groups. That's how services like 23andMe can say where you are. Like for example, you are 30% East Asian and 60% European. These visualizations are simple for users, but rely on complex algorithms and massive reference datasets. One of the biggest questions bioinformatics has helped to answer is, where did humans originate? Genetic evidence consistently points to Africa. The oldest genetic lineages are found there, and genetic diversity is the highest there. Around 60 to 70,000 years ago, a small group of humans left Africa, migrated to Middle East, and gradually spread across Europe, Asia, Oceania, and eventually to the Americas. This giant migration pattern is reconstructed not from fossils, but from the patterns of DNA variation across modern populations. So here is a case study. One famous study by de Novembre and his colleagues showed something remarkable. When they plotted Europeans on the PCA map based only on genetic variation, the plots actually automatically formed a shape of the actual geographic map of Europe. Spain appeared on the left, and Italy pointed downwards, and Scandinavia clustered at the top. No geographic information was used in this computation, only genetics. This shows how strongly our DNA preserves geographical history and migration. And another fascinating discovery made through bioinformatics is that modern humans interbreed with other human species. By sequencing Asian DNA from Neanderthals and Denisovans, Researchers found that all non-African populations today carry about 1 to 2% Neanderthal DNA. People from Oceania and some parts of Asia also have up to 5% Denisovan DNA. These findings completely change our understanding of human evolution. Without computational basis, it would have been impossible to compare ancient damaged DNA with modern genomes. Even though ancestry tests are powerful, they are not perfect. The percentages you receive are only estimates based on the reference databases the company uses. If a region is underrepresented in the database, the results will be inaccurate. Also, genetics does not equal ethnicity or culture. Two people of the same ethnic group might have very different genetic backgrounds. And of course, ancestry tests need to be used responsibly, especially when it comes to privacy and interpretations. So, why does all this matter? Beyond curiosity, ancestry analysis helps in many practical areas. It improves the personalized medicine by identifying genetic risk factors that are more common in certain populations. It supports anthropology and also archaeology by revealing unknown migrations. It helps forensic science identify unknown individuals. And on a more personal level, it allows people to discover lost relatives or understand their family history. Bioinformatics transforms raw DNA sequences into meaningful stories about who we are. So, in conclusion, we human beings have a very common origin in Africa, and our DNA varied as we migrated to different parts of the world. DNA holds a remarkable record of human history. Bioinformatics provides tools to read that record, clustering genomes, tracing migrations, and uncovering our connections with ancient humans. It gives us a new way to understand ourselves, not through the written documents, but through the code written inside ourselves. That's all for my presentation. Thank you for listening.